I'm doing good, guys. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great. Thanks so much for taking the time to jump on with us. We know you're busy, but what you've started here has snowballed into something incredible. The chance for somebody to go have dinner with you and Witten, and now Coach Garrett is there as well at Nick and Sam's, was the first thing we had to auction off. And now many other athletes have been inspired and have stepped up, and organizations have stepped up. And this has snowballed into being a massive event. So first and foremost, just wanted to thank you for your consideration and generosity.
Oh, it's the least we can do. I think, when we started it, you guys, were so instrumental in getting this, the ball rolling. And, I think everyone should understand how you guys have really started this as much as anybody who's a part of it. So I want to thank you guys for getting to the athletes, and this has touched our city, and it's been a big deal. And for us, anything we can do to help out, in any way, I think we're all willing to do that, obviously.
One of the really interesting things that we see, Tony, is that pretty much every Dallas and Fort Worth police officer we meet are huge Dallas Cowboys fans. And I'm sure just in your everyday life in the city, you see that out and about. You probably see officers all the time that are coming up to you talking about how big a Cowboy fans they are.
Yeah, I have a, very good relationship, with just the officers in town, and they're normal people just like everybody else. Obviously they're out there to protect us and do the things that can help keep our community safe. And I think there's obviously been a lot going on in the world, and it's been a tough week for the people of Dallas, and for the people and of the fallen officers, the family members. It's just it's been a tough week for all of us to pray for them, and just trying to you just want to do anything you can to help soften that, and nothing's going to help that. But it's just I know a lot of different officers, and it just touches your heart, and you pray for them, and you hope that you can do anything to help out.
Well, where are we at the high bid now for this dinner, you guys?
$15,000.
Wow. Okay, so we just got this thing started. We're barely up off the ground, and we're going all the way till 9 o'clock. Someone has already offered $15,000. That's the high bid to go have dinner with you and Witten and Garrett. And for those out there who are like, you know what, I'd like to do that. I just wonder what that dinner is going to be like. Could you give us a scattering report on what Witten and Garrett are like at dinner?
Well, they're not going to talk too much. I'm going to pretty much control the dinner. So I think that you can understand that. I'm going to tell a few more stories than they will. But I do think that what you'll find is it'll be pretty intimate, and there'll be a lot of stories, and it'll be pretty fun, I can tell you that. And it'll probably last quite a while. It's probably isn't going to be one of those quick in and out kind of dinners. We'll be there for a while, and that's when we get together, we always have a good time and talk a lot of football and tell a lot of stories. And I think it'll be real enjoyable. I think, it'll be something that someone will appreciate, some of the subtleness of it.
Between the three of you guys, Tony, who will have the most impressive order?
Oh, impressive order. That's a great question. Me and Witten are pretty similar. We're just going to chef could come over and talk about a lot of stuff, and then we'll be like, that's nice. But we're just going to get the same thing we get every time. And then Coach Garrett will ask a few more questions. Really? What kind of sauce is that? We'll be like, that's fantastic. I love that. So he'll probably get the more eclectic one.
Now, Garrett's known for sending food back to the kitchen and asking them to recook it. Is that accurate?
Not that I've ever seen.
Okay,
I
good.
haven't seen that part of it. He's usually pretty nice. He's great.
Have you ever seen him go back to the kitchen and explain that cooking a meal is a process?
I haven't seen it. No. He's got a lot of those coachisms that you guys know about.
We're talking to Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo here on the Ben and Skin Show, who's been such a big part in getting this event down here at Dos Jefes today up and going, and people are chipping in it, and it's ended up being a really cool thing. We're going to be talking about it all throughout the show, Tony, but, since we have you on, we would also, love to talk some football with you, and I would imagine it'd be nice to kind of get an update about how you feel about the situation that the offense is in right now. You guys drafting Zeke, and how you feel at this point you look going into camp.
Well, it all starts by setting your base and your foundation. And, we did that in the off season, and, we're still doing that heading into camp. But, I've been through a lot of off seasons, and I think I've told you guys before, but I feel very strongly about, the groundwork that we just laid over these last few months. It's been, I feel like you can kind of tell how your team's going to be in the off season and in training camp. It doesn't necessarily go exactly how you want, but I do know that the years where it was tough, to move the ball in those periods of time, it was still tough during the season. And then other years where things came a little bit easier and the efficiency was just there day in and day out. Those were a little bit more successful. And, we were as efficient offensively as I've ever been around. And I think hopefully that will just continue. And our ability to just go out and execute, play in, play out, and day in, day out. And I think we did that at this point. We just have to keep getting better, and guys need to have a great, month when they're away here and then come back and really put their head down and go to work.
Tony, before we let you go, we know you're busy. We met Patrick Zamaripa at a charity function, and he told the story of his partner saving his life, and Jake, it's just such a moving thing. Would just love to get your thoughts on Patrick in general, and what you're feeling and thinking when you heard that he was involved in this tragedy.
Well, it's a tough thing to describe because we had met him. You were there at the event, and we'd met his wife and him, and he was just such a. How you meet people and they have a nice, like a good soul. You can just tell this person, he's got a softness to him, and he really enjoys people. He's got a great, attitude, and when you meet people like that, and then something tragic happens. It's hard to think about, really. First thing you want to do is help out in any way you can. You really can't. Then secondly, you start thinking about your own life and your kids and your family, and it just takes you. And then it's just hard. It's just hard. There's nothing that you can do or say to, bridge the gap to make things okay. And, for people who are used to having control and to help others and do things, it's a feeling of just not having a chance to be there for people. And, it's just life sometimes has really difficult things that happen, and we don't have all the answers for that. And I feel like, it's just a tough week, and it's going to be a tough time for a long time. And, our thoughts and prayers go out to his wife and family. It's just, he was a great guy. He loves sports. I'm talking for 2 minutes. He was a special, special guy, and it's tough.
Well, Tony, we want to thank you for taking the time to call in, and we also want to warn you, out here, Ben is bidding way more than he has money for. So if he reaches out to you in a time of desperation, just know his heart was in the right place, okay?
Well, I tell you what, Ben has been trying to buy a dinner with this group for about a decade, so I wonder I felt like he didn't have to use it in this manner, but, it's going to go for a good cause, so at least, Ben, you can wipe out your wife will be fine, Ben. Just go ahead and spend it all. So.
Hey, brother, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for spearheading this whole thing and getting this snowball moving. The momentum's incredible. We certainly appreciate you. God bless you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
God bless, guys. See you guys.
All right, there he goes. Quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo.